Hello my friends, how are you doing today? I'm your Ramandeep Singh, back again with a very important video related to Ielts speaking. In this video, I'm going to share two very important topics of Ielts speaking exam, and the examiner may ask you a few questions related to these two topics. The topics are number one, sharing things with others, and number two, related to food, outside or maybe homemade food. So what different question the examiner may ask you and what could be the reasonable answer to these questions, I'm going to discuss with you in this video. So before I move ahead, I request you to please subscribe my channel, press the bell icon, and after watching the complete videos, always leave some comments for me and don't mind to share my videos as well. So let's start with the very first topic of the day, and that is sharing the things. And the very first question the examiner may ask you.
What kind of things do you like to share?
Well, there are quite a few things that I don't mind sharing with others. As I'm a student, so I often share my study-related material with my friends. We often borrow or lend books to each other. At the same time, I have a bicycle that I don't mind sharing too.
Did your parents encourage you to share things as a child?
Of course, they did. My parents indeed encouraged to share things. Actually, we were three brothers and sisters, so to ensure that we have a very strong relationship with each other, our parents developed this habit of sharing. That means we don't hesitate to help each other.
What things you don't like to share?
Honestly speaking, there are quite a few things that actually I hesitate to share with others, especially personal belongings. For example, clothes. I really don't want that others wear my clothes. For example, sometimes my friend asks me for my t-shirts, but I really don't feel comfortable when someone else wear my clothes. Similarly, I also don't like if someone asks me for my mobile, because there is always a lot of personal information in terms of my contacts, messages that I really don't like to share with others.
Do you think people will share their cars in the future?
Though it's hard to predict future, but the way the problem of traffic is burgeoning and people are becoming responsible and people are realizing that carpooling can be a wonderful solution to this problem. And I have learned that future cities would be developed in a certain way that people working at similar workplaces would be residing in same area that would really encourage people towards carpooling.
Do you think people these days are less comfortable at sharing things than in past?
I agree to a great extent that people these days are less comfortable at sharing things. Firstly, I think they are far more possessive towards their things. As I said, mobile phone. I really don't want that anyone touches my mobile. Similarly, they are very self-centered and they are not even of very helping nature. In past, people were always ready to share their things so that they could help others. But these days, this quality is missing among most people. And that said, these are the questions that's been asked and shared by some of our students related to sharing things. Now we will move to the second topic of the day, and that is related to foods and meals.
How often do you cook?
Since I have a lot of interest in cooking, I find it as a wonderful leisure activity. Though most of the time my mother cooks for the family, but on weekends I'm free, so at that time I always prepare something special for my family.
Do you prefer eating homemade meals or eating in a restaurant?
No doubt I always give preference to homemade food because it is far more nutritious and healthy and prepared in a hygienic manner. However, once in a while when I'm hanging out with my friends or just for a change, I don't mind eating outside.
What kind of things you generally order when you eat out?
Well, there are some food items that I love to order when I eat out. For example, in the evening when I go out for snacks, I love to order a pizza. Similarly, fish and chips is also my favorite item to order when I eat out.
Do you think people will eat out more or less in future?
Needless to say, people's interest towards cooking is declining. At the same time, in future, people will have hectic schedule and they will have less time to prepare food at home. As a result, more and more people will eat out in future rather than preparing their meals at home.
What is the most important meal of the day for you?
For me, breakfast is definitely the most important meal of the day because in the morning I always take heavy breakfast that gives me energy for the rest of the day. In fact, I'm a student, so sometimes I have to skip my lunch, so that's why it is the most important meal of the day for me. That's it. So these are the sample answer to these two topics of the speaking part 1 of Ielts. I hope you comfortably followed the answer to these questions, and I, Ramandeep Singh, say you goodbye right now, and I will catch you very shortly with more interesting and useful videos related to Ielts.